The Gastric Cancer Foundation was created at the time that our late son, Ben, was in remission, and his oncologist, Jim Ford, and the late J.P. Gallagher, who really was the founder of Gastric Cancer Foundation, and I worked together to create this foundation.
When Wayne decided to take over the Gastric Cancer Fund, when Jay became very ill, it meant so much to us as a couple and as a family, because we knew that Wayne would keep our dream of having this foundation alive.
There really wasn't a dedicated gastric cancer research program or foundation at that point. So it both brought a lot of attention to the area and the need, as well as very practical support for starting to do the research.
Wayne was one of the most important people in the start of this project. My research group with Jim Ford was funded to do the first early study in gastric cancer. During that course of time, we've seen the improvements, but we never would have gotten there if we hadn't had Wayne's support. The payoff and the benefit from his commitment to this type of research was nearly immediate, because within the course of about a year and a half, we'd made a major discovery that was published in a scientific journal.
My dad didn't choose to be involved with the gastric cancer. It chose him, and he has never wavered in his commitment to making a difference and raising awareness, and something that we can just feel good about that we're doing for other families, and how proud Ben would be of all of us.
You want to continue to take care of your child, whatever way that is. This was Wayne's way of taking care of Ben. For us, that's really what this has been, is just a way to continue to take care of him.
When we think about what we're doing here with the Gastric Cancer Foundation, it really touches so many people, and I would encourage everybody to participate.
The more scientists working in a dedicated fashion on this disease, the faster the progress will be. You meet with someone who has a great idea, you give them really a little bit of money, and suddenly something fantastic emerges.
Science of oncology, particularly solid tumors and GI cancers, including gastric cancer, is exploding. And the actual translation of the research findings to treating patients, I think, is moving faster in the last few years than it ever has.
The potential there is enormous, and in part because we're at an inflection point in the way that these technologies are being developed. Types of tools that we're developing, the types of methods that we're developing, the way that we're approaching gastric cancer can be translated to almost any patient. And I think that we'll see more advances and progress in this area because of the advances in technology and their dropping costs.
The registry made everything else possible, and has made all the research that's been done in the last 6 years possible, because there was no repository that would allow researchers to look at the range of tumor types and begin to understand that there were significant variations from tumor type to tumor type.
I think that the Gastric Cancer Registry's mission of illuminating this area and providing resources and the opportunities, namely for patients to participate, will really accelerate our ability to find the answers that can help these individuals.
I've known Wayne for over 10 years, so I've seen this transition from obviously a concerned and grieving father to becoming an absolute advocate for making this field better.
He's given his time and energy away from his family, and this has been essentially a second job for him. And for that, we are eternally grateful.
I'm incredibly proud of him. I think what he's done will really be sustaining and long-term impacts so many people's lives, and it's such a positive way.
Personally, my own interest in gastric cancer was stimulated by this project as well, and by Wayne in particular, because I had been doing mostly colon cancer research, but once I had the opportunity to work on stomach cancer through Wayne, through the Gastric Cancer Foundation, that completely altered my scientific direction, and now the study of gastric cancer makes up a major part of what this research program does.
I don't think any of us expected how involved my dad would get with this organization. I think it kind of just started as something small and has grown to be something that he has just put all of his heart into. And I know that Ben would be so proud of him and impressed.
I do think that the advances will continue, and that we will look back and see his founding and shared leadership of GCF as really a critical moment in our progress.
The more money GCF can raise, the more research grants it can give, the more scholars it can fund, and the more people doing research on this topic, the sooner we'll find better treatments and better cures.